Modern women are delusional. At least that's what the internet says. All right. I mean, that's you find any video talking about modern women and dating, it's about their delusion, their ridiculousness, the high standards, all these different things. And I'm not here to say that there aren't women who fit into those labels, fit into those categories. However, I think it's very important for the men to understand what you're dealing with and how to get the results that you are truly looking for. I honestly feel like there are many of you who may be struggling to figure out what truly is important to you and what you really want. And I don't want the outside influences to skew your perception in a negative way that only hurts you in the long run. So I need you to understand certain things about dating the modern woman, all right? And so let's get right to it. Number one, not every modern woman thinks the same, all right? So what I'm saying is this. I think most men understand that none of the information that you're getting out there is 100%, it's very easy to sometimes slide into that kind of mentality of always projecting these perceptions and these beliefs onto all the women that you meet, all right? Or any woman that may come across to you as a modern woman or whatever the case may be. And what I would encourage you as a man to do is be aware, but do not project, all right? So you can be aware of the pitfalls of dealing with certain kinds of women and what many women, whether it be typical or not, may do and how they may behave in certain ways. But it is wise for you not to project that onto every single woman because, one, there are going to be people who are different. There are going to be women who don't subscribe to the certain beliefs that you see on the internet. And if you go in projecting, you can actually end up hurting yourself from meeting a great woman. Because listen, man, there's a lot of good women out there. A lot more than some of y'all realize. I think, unfortunately, the internet, social media, is very successful at making the minority look like the majority. All right? So, for example, there's tons of men who may believe that all women want a six-figure man. Let me tell you something. Whether or not, and yes, you can go on certain posts and you see women screaming for six figures and how if they make less than that, the man's broke and all this stuff, right? But step away from the internet and go to the real world for a second. The vast majority of relationships that women get into are with men making less than six figures. The vast majority of marriages that occur are with men making less than six figures. It's one thing for a woman to jump on a comment section and say, I want this, that, and the other. But that's not what happens in real life because there's so many other factors at play. So you don't want to get, again, caught up in what you're seeing. Also, I have to say it, sometimes there are shows that if women are on certain podcasts or whatever, they don't represent everybody. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's the same way that I think we can acknowledge how women have taken what, let's say, 10, 20% of men are and projected it onto all men. So when women say, oh, well, these men are out here just running these streets, I'm a firm believer. A lot of dudes out there, could be you, would be happy with a good woman who's pouring into your needs, giving you what you're looking for, and you're good. You're not going to be out there. It's not your thing. Not every guy's into having different women. You know what I'm saying? But they're so busy looking at a small segment and projecting it onto everyone that they end up self-sabotaging a lot of potential situations for themselves. And that's what's happening with some men. All right? So you've got to be very careful with that. And again, remember, yes, you can be aware of the standard floating around. And let's just go with the whole six-figure, man has to have a lot of money. But you would be, so I've come across tons of women who genuinely, and I know some of y'all might be thinking, yeah, well, they're probably not that desirable. No, I've come across good, desirable, good-looking women who they weren't hung up on that kind of stuff, all right? But again, if you go into a date and maybe sometimes because you're projecting it, you may have a certain attitude. You may not realize the energy that you're giving off when having certain discussions with them about these topics, because you're going in guarded. You're going in already feeling some kind of way about it. It's not necessary. Let the woman show you who she is for herself. Again, be aware so that you can pick up on any red flags and any issues, but do not project. All right, so let's move along. The second thing you need to always remember is do not let these women dictate your lifestyle. So what do I mean by that? If I'm gonna be extremely honest, one of the things that grinds my gears, I'm thinking about Family Guy, one of the things that grinds my gears, okay, is when I hear men say, oh, well, since women want equality, then that's what I'm for, and that's why I believe in 50-50 and all these things. The reason why that irks me is not because you believe in 50-50. It's because you're saying you've come to that belief or that conclusion because that's what women say they want. All right? Whether you're just saying that to be difficult or whatever, if you genuinely are now embracing a certain lifestyle because of how women are today, then you're losing in life. All right? You cannot let the woman dictate to you. You as a man have to determine, what kind of life do I want to live? What kind of life do I genuinely feel is in my best interest, not just from the standpoint of how I can benefit, but how the relationship, if you're going to get into one, can thrive. So listen, when I talk to you guys or make videos about 50-50, because I'll be honest with y'all, I don't believe in the whole 50-50 thing. I understand why some people do it. I think even if you do it initially, there needs to be a plan to move away from it at some point. So you can start 50-50 and let's say y'all pool y'all money together, and maybe this is just one example. You figure out how to live on one income. The other income is you guys are investing in all these things. And then eventually you can get to a point where now, because you're doing so much better with your investments or whatever, your promotions, you can now carry a bigger financial burden. So at some point it can shift. But when I say this to y'all, I don't say it to make the women happy. I don't say it to make it easier for them. I say it because in all my studying of relationships, all my dealings with it, what I have seen is that dynamic works the best. It is the most effective for long-term success. I can break down so many reasons why the 50-50 does not work in the long run. I'll say that for a different video. But that's the reason why I'm against it. So I determined a long time ago, before I even became Stephan Speaks, that I wanted to live a life where I could provide. And I wanted to provide at a certain level because there was a certain lifestyle that I specifically desired, okay? Now, for you as a man, let's just say that specific lifestyle is a simple one, all right? You don't care about this whole making a ton of money. You just want a roof over your head, food to eat, some savings, maybe some investments, but it's a simple, chill life. I don't care if you come across 10 women screaming they want Louis Vuitton bags and trips and all these things, and they want you to make more money. Those women ain't for you. And those women should not dictate or impact how you now determine you need to live your life. I would rather encourage you to find a woman that you can desire that fits into the lifestyle, that aligns with you on where you are with things, all right? And so here's the funny thing, or the interesting thing we'll say. You have a scenario where you can come to the table and the woman presents what her lifestyle desires are, you present what yours is. And sometimes you'll find that the woman is willing to accommodate some of the things that you mentioned, even though she started off saying something completely different. Put a pin in that, because I'm going to tell you what that's about. And this is why you don't deviate from what's important to you, because a lot of men, what happens is they shoot themselves in the foot trying to accommodate the woman's lifestyle desires, even though it doesn't fit them. There are men who have gone broke trying to keep up with the lifestyle demands of the woman that he thought he wanted, even though she was not best for him. And then when it blows up, unfortunately, a lot of men will then be mad at women and project this whole issue onto women. It's like, no, one, you were dealing with the wrong woman, and two, you were not true to yourself about what was important to you in the life you wanted to live. All right? Now, before I move on to the next point, let me say this. In addition to not letting her dictate your lifestyle, stop arguing with these women about what they want. Bruh, there's no point to this. If they want 6 figures, this or whatever, and that doesn't vibe with you, there's no need to get into this heated back and forth about this. Now, don't get me wrong. We can have intelligent discussions, but I see a lot of men really going back, and I'm not even talking about just online internet stuff. I'm talking about on dates, getting in heated discussions about this, and then starting to throw shots and throw shade. Like, why? There's no need for that. And again, all you do is make yourself look worse. You're not going to win this argument with this woman, and you're going to make yourself look worse in the whole situation. And then some men will have these moments and then still try to get sex or whatever from this woman. And she's like, I ain't sleeping with you at this point. You had a chance before you opened your mouth and wanted to go back and forth with me. Now it's a wrap. But it's pointless. It serves no purpose. As a man, you have to be confident and certain about who you are and how you want to live. Again, present that. You can discuss it, but there's no need for a negative argument. And if she tries to pull you into one, as a man, you got to be the one to say, listen, I'm not going back and forth with you about this. If that's what you want, cool. I ain't the one to give it to you. All right, so here's the last thing. And remember I said to put a pin on the fact that sometimes you could have a situation where you have this discussion, you state your case, she states her case, and then you see that she's actually changing her story, right? And actually accommodating what you desire more. Well, the point that I want you to remember is that women in general, modern women, whatever, are always more flexible when they actually really like you. All right? So one of the things that I'll tell you personally, in the first book I ever wrote, which the first book is called How to Get a Woman to Have Sex with You If You're Her Husband, right? Or if she's your wife. I forgot my own title. Anyways, the point is, one of the things I said in the book is, do not let the words coming out of her mouth distract you. All right? Meaning that sometimes women say one thing, but they mean something else. And as a man, if you want to empower yourself to navigate these situations better and to be more successful with women, you've got to learn how to also read some body language and pick up on energy and things like that, because that can tell you more than the words that she's letting out. So, because I go into it not just letting the words dictate to me what the situation is, I'm able to see past certain situations and understand there's something deeper going on here. Now, that can work in various ways. That one perfect example could be when a woman tells you, "Oh, I'm cool with being casual," but you see there's some red flags showing you she can't handle this. And if you push this any further, you're asking for trouble. As a man, yeah, you can say, well, she says she's cool with it. If you want to move forward with that, that's on you. But tons of men have gotten themselves into a lot of nonsense because they ignored what they saw past her words and realized this woman, if we take this further, it's going to get messy. All right? But it can also be on the flip side where, yes, she may come to the table saying, well, I want this, that, and the other, but again, because she likes you, as time goes on in that conversation, she's starting to change. And it's not necessarily because she's a liar, right? It's just because she likes you, she wants to fit into your world. Now, let me give you this as something to consider. When a woman does try to accommodate to you in your lifestyle, be mindful and aware of evaluating, is she being true to herself? Because if she's not, she can't sustain it. All right? So I'll give you one example. Let's say you're a man, you're dating this woman, and let's say you are a busy guy. Let's say you're an entrepreneur, whatever. And this woman in the beginning tells you how she needs a man that can give her time. But because now she likes you, she's trying to fit into your world and accept your busyness. but you've already seen that she struggles with maybe your communication not being as consistent as she wants it to be, or as intense as she wants it to be, all right? You can't say, oh, well, she's saying she'll accept this, that we'll be fine. If she, because I believe there are women who they just need more, they're more needy in regard, and I don't want to say needy in a bad way. They like closeness more. They want your time more. They want to be up under you more. There are other women who are a lot more able to be on their own and do their own thing, and they can handle a busy man's lifestyle. So what I'm getting at here is when a woman tries to accommodate herself to you, you've got to look deeper to see, okay, is this something that she can really do and sustain, or is she just trying to fit into my life, but she can't keep this up? Because if not, it's going to blow up in everybody's face. All right? And yes, we can sit here and say, but that's her responsibility, but I'm trying to help save you from unnecessary headaches and issues. But the bottom line point here is, when she really likes you, a lot of times things change. Like there's another saying that says, rules are only for people we don't like. All right? So everybody got all these kinds of rules and standards, but once they meet someone they're really into, people start making some adjustments. All right? So consider all these things. Again, there's a lot more for us to talk about, but remember, as a man, stand strong in who you are. And when you do that and you stand in confidence and stand in a trajectory of constantly improving yourself, you will receive what is best for you. Yo, I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to check this one out over here on 7 types of women you should never date. You need a woman who can bring you peace. You need a woman who knows how to help you relax. You need a woman who can pour into you, believe in you, help you in your vision, see things, catch the blind spots that maybe you can't catch. So she has great vision. All right. She may not have